What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Orlando powder room. Right behind me, I got this 1987 Dyno Comp. This thing was purchased. I seen the actual receipts for this bike, matched the serial number up, and it's the same owner that bought it, still owns it today. So this is a 1987. There's a few weird things about this bike. If you notice, it has Pro Comp forks on it. Now he says that it came, he doesn't know anything about bikes. He just knows that he's owned this thing since the 80s. I'm also dealing with another new camera today, so bear with me a little bit. But anyways, he's saying this bike came exactly as you see it, minus the rear tire. He changed the rear tire a few years after he had the bike. But as you can see, the decal for the fork is different style than the decal for the frame. And these are Pro Comp forks, and I believe they didn't come out until '88, which, you know, this was a later bike. I forgot the month that he bought it in, but it was on the paperwork. And he does have paperwork. They did change the seat post the day that he bought it. I had a straight seat post on it, and he wanted the drain pipe. So they changed that, and he bought a set of pegs. One set of pegs came with it, and he bought the other set so he could have pegs front and rear. All that was in his paperwork. But anyways, we're not powder coating this unit. We are just going to break it apart. We're going to re-grease it, clean everything up. We're going to put the Repop GT tires on it. We're going to find him some levers. Probably some new cables, if I can't say this one. And it's just gonna get cleaned up and re-put back together. All right, so before we get to that unit, we got a Haro Group 1 in the oven, getting a two-tone set of bars for that. I know we've been off of YouTube here for a little while. We've just been so busy at the shop, I didn't have time to make videos. Kind of makes things a little difficult, but it's fun, so we do it, and hopefully you stick around with us. We got our Group 1 all hung up. I already sprayed the white on it, so now we just have to wipe. Just gotta wipe the area that's gonna stay chrome. This will get a partial cure, go in the oven, and then we're gonna put red on the front half. Well, that Haro sits in the oven for a little bit. Well, we got to pack up this VFR, a day glow yellow VFR. Now, the whole world has been struggling with day glow yellow. It seems like the suppliers may have a contaminated batch, and a lot of the day glow yellows were coming out with a lot of black and red. Looked like contamination in the powder itself, and we fought with that for quite a while. And after many different bags and speaking to many different suppliers, we finally got it figured out. We didn't actually change anything but the powder, so there's that. But anyway, so we're gonna get this unit packed up, heading back north. Back to Massachusetts, where I'm sure it is really cold, but I'm in Florida, so that doesn't apply to me. Next, we're going to shoot a 88 TNT. It's going white. We still have white in the gun from the Haro, so we're going to blow that thing white real quick, and then we'll get back to the Haro. So this is the TNT that we got to shoot white. I figured while we still have white in the gun, we're gonna make this sucker white and try to save some time. We got this thing all blasted out. The chrome was rough in a couple areas. So we blasted it, cleaned it up. Now we're gonna make it white. Alright, so we're back on that Haro. This is the color of the decal that the customer sent for us to match up. And after ordering many swatches, we came up with a prismatic color. Flame red is the closest match it is. Obviously, this decal is not very, of course it looks glossy in the picture, or in the camera, just because of the way the light's hitting it. But this decal is not very glossy, and you can almost see how it's pixelated. You can almost see the white through the red. So it was really hard to match a color to this particular decal. But closest we came up with was flame red, so we're gonna do the bars, the front section of that Haro, flame red to match the decal. Chewy, flame red. Never shot this color before. Probably a pretty nice red, I would assume. Let's go put it on. Set these in the oven, let them bake out, and we'll set the frame up and get done next. Alright, so we're shooting the front of this Haro here. We got our machine turned way down. We got our electricity turned down, so we don't get no back ionization. We got our powder turned down, so that we don't fill the chevrons, and we don't get red powder all over the rest of this hot rod. So we're just gonna give it a go from home. So that's pretty much that. Now, as you can see, where the powder oversprayed on the frame, we just take the air hose and blow all that off so that we don't have no red spots, red specks in the white. First we gotta clean the air hose, but I left it there. Basically, you just take this, hold on the frame. Then of course we gotta clean our cup holes out. That's it, we'll get these holes cleaned out. And this thing will go in the oven after the bars come out. So when that Haro goes through the oven, we got this 1985 GT Pro Performer. This is actually a bike that we had of a customer's, and we sold for a customer, but the guy that bought it wants it Day-Glow orange. So we got to break it down the frame, and change the frame color to Day-Glow orange. So we're going to get this thing yanked apart while the Haro's in the oven, so we could change the color. First thing we're going to do is get these forks off, so we got to pop these brake cables. So I already popped the cable end off there, so we're going to pull this cable clamp off, slide that cable out, slide it out of this adjuster. Let's see if we have that. And we're just gonna slide it up through here. thing's trying to fall over here. Alright, so now we can take the stem off and drop the forks. Alright, so when you guys are taking your stems off of these mallets, you always got to be careful not to put wrench marks and all kinds of gall marks in the top of your stem. So I like to use a socket and just keep it up off of the powder on the stem itself. So I just usually do it this way, like this, so I can grab it, making sure not to mess up the powder, and you just pop it loose. Once it's loose, pull it right out. And you got your whole deal. I try to keep as much of this stuff together as possible. That way it's just faster when I go to put it back together. Alright, so when I'm taking the caps off the end of these wires, I usually use a pair of cutting pliers, but I do not cut the cable because we're going to reuse it. So I'll just hold it with the cutters and just tap it with a hammer. It slides right off. Obviously you got to replace it because it's already been crimped, but at least now you're not still shortening your cable. So then we'll loosen up the cable clamp, making sure not to scratch the, oh, it's very tight. And it'll all just pull right out. We gotta take that off. Next up, we're gonna have to pop the fork nut off, and or the top nut and the fork nut. Little bear trap here. I like to stack it all on a zip tie. Try not to touch the white mag with our greasy hands. All right, we're gonna put that. Bearings right on there. And then I'll put all this in a bag because it's usually got a ton of grease on it. Let it go in a bag so we can't get everything else greasy. This unit's got a master link on it, so we just grab our needle nose, give it a pinch, pop it off. Now you always put this somewhere where you won't lose it, which is absolutely nowhere because they just disappear on their own. Along with this guy right here. Pop that off. There we go. Chains off. Alright, next we're going to take this unit right here. We're going to pop that other side pedal off so we can get the cranks through the bottom bracket. Give it a couple of row your boats. Just like that, it's all. Alright, so we're going to take a second and go check out that Haro. See how she looks. Alright, as you can see here, we have an issue. You see that wrinkly, kind of weird look to the powder? That's called powder sag. Is what happened was I didn't cure the base long enough. So when we put the top on it, and then the base was still moving too much, when it hit the heat, it caused the top to sag. Usually we try to cure as little as possible when going into a fade, so that the two colors will be seamless. You won't feel a rough spot in between. It looks like I missed the mark by about 30 seconds to a minute, so now we gotta address that situation. Always something when you're powder coating. Alright, so we fixed our problem. You can see where the white was being pulled by the red. So I took some sandpaper. It looks like you can still see, you can still feel it, but you can't. This is all smooth now. It's just how the white wasn't cured enough before I put the red on. So now we're gonna put another coat of red over the top, and all that should disappear. Well, let's get it. Put y'all right here. Now, when you're powder coating, you can't just do a small area, or else it'll look textured where the powder tapered off. So we got to recoat all this red. I mean, I say all of it, I get a lot of it. It's not. And we'll blow off the rest just like we did last time. Still see the chevron just right there. Alright, now this thing will get another trip to the oven, and all that wrinkles should go away. Well, that's in the oven. We're going to continue on this thing here. To figure out which way is which. Pop this brake off. Put everything back together right the way it came off, which I will lose washers. We got this unit stripped all the way down. Now we just got to knock the stickers off of it. Now these ones I'll probably just scrape off, but I kind of want to keep that one. So we're going to put some heat on it. Let her get warmed up. This is exciting, isn't it? Alright. I'm gonna heat this up and I'm gonna peel the sticker off. Might be hot enough right now. Just like that. Now I'm gonna go stick it on my sticker board. All cleaned out. Now it's gonna go in the strip tank and get all this old white powder removed. We can start fresh. Fluorescent orange does require a white base, but this is already full cured. It's already got some scratches and stuff in it, so we're gonna redo the base and make it fluorescent orange. But first, we're gonna take a look at that Haro and see what happened with that unit. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Alright, there you go, no more wrinkle. Looking good. We're gonna let this unit cool down, come back down to room temperature, and we'll take it out in the showroom and take a good look at it. Alright, there she is. In all of her glory. Looking pretty sharp.